Of course, this morning we've got team coverage on the roads. Courtney Yoon out there monitoring things as well. Courtney, where you are and what are you seeing out there?
Hey, good morning, Erica. We are on I-25 North, just getting close to the DTC right now. We just came from Castle Rock where it was extra foggy, and looking outside right now, you can see it still is pretty foggy out there, a little drizzly, some light rain coming down. Road conditions, keeping a close eye on the road conditions and the weather here for you guys. Really not seeing any freezing roads here, but they are wet and slick in some spots. There is some low-lying areas that has some pooling with some water in there, and they can kind of surprise it. They kind of come up just whenever. You never know. So just keep an eye on the roads this morning because there is that risk of hydroplaning today. We have seen a few CDOT snowplows as we've been driving around for a couple hours this morning. Most of them parked on on-ramps and off-ramps now this morning, as not seeing a lot of issues with accumulation on the road. So just be safe out there this morning. Back to you guys in the studio.
And if you're not avoiding a puddle, you're avoiding maybe a pothole.
Like we
just saw right there. Courtney, be safe out there. Thank you.
Of course, we'll be covering the storm all day today. We do have some breaking news at this hour. 3 people have been arrested in connection to the death of 20-year-old Alexa Bartel. She was one of the victims of a string of rocks being thrown at vehicles in Jefferson County.
We are working through the new information from the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office that they released just about 20 minutes ago. We do know there are 3 suspects, as Corey mentioned, all 18 years old. They were taken into custody overnight in Arvada.
They are facing charges of first-degree murder, and additional charges are expected. We're going to be following this more as we dive into this press release that was just given to us a few minutes ago. We'll bring you more on air and online.
Just into the newsroom this morning as well, Littleton police are looking for a missing girl. Her name is Jasmine Sandoval. She was last seen wearing blue jeans and a Denver Nuggets hoodie. She has brown hair and she is 5'5". If you know anything or you may have seen her, you are asked to call Littleton police. New overnight, one person is hurt after a hit and run in Denver. Police say it happened just after 8 o'clock last night near Bryant Street in Evans. One person was taken to the hospital. A description of the car or driver is not known.
Also developing at this hour, Denver firefighters are monitoring hot spots at this Excel building at 13th and Zuni. Crews responded to a fire there last night around 11 o'clock, and when they arrived, Denver Fire said there was just heavy fire, so they had to back off and fight it from the outside. One firefighter was treated for minor injuries. A cause is under investigation. Happening today, closing arguments will begin in the road rage murder case from Westminster. Jeremy Webster faces 22 charges, including first-degree murder. He's accused of killing 13-year-old Vaughn Bigelow and shooting Bigelow's mother and brother. Webster pleaded not guilty by reason of insanity, but a psychologist concluded that he was sane during the shooting. Closing arguments begin at 8:30 this morning. New this morning, Colorado is looking to address the shortage of healthcare workers.
Yeah, the country is falling short by hundreds of thousands of nurses and doctors. Our Anusha Roy joins us live in studio now. And Anusha, we are seeing some new solutions to address this problem.
Yeah, even after all of this time talking about this problem, the numbers are still so staggering. The Colorado Hospital Association shared several studies that show 100,000 nurses left the workforce during the pandemic, and that a fifth of all registered nurses are planning to leave the workforce in the next 4 years across the country. There's a shortage of doctors and home health aides and public health workers, all of this playing out in Colorado as well. But what caught our attention is that we're starting to see programs come to fruition, like the Public Health AmeriCorps. It's kind of like with the teacher shortage, they're trying to build up a pipeline and bring in a younger generation into public health. People like Emily Evans from Pueblo, who said it would have been harder for her to find a position with Denver Public Health, and the city saying it's already helping them hire more locally.
Folks are not getting the resources that they need without enough internal staff at the local public health departments. Again, whether that's COVID resources or just educational information even. I mean, in my position, I'm able to teach community members about climate and behavioral health resources.
So there is also legislation being considered right now in the Colorado legislature that would create 2 new nursing programs in our state. Of course, these programs are up against a giant problem. There was legislation passed last year setting aside $61 million to try and retain and train more healthcare workers. So there's a lot of people trying to address this.
Yeah, and it's not like just people aren't interested in getting the job. It's also trying to get, into nursing school themselves. Yes. There's a long wait list. And so people are even emailing us saying we really need instructors.
Yeah, that's that's a really good point, because in a lot of those studies, they talk about that, saying, you know, they don't have enough teachers. So, okay, you've built this pipeline, you're trying to get people in, but if you don't have anybody to educate people how to be a nurse, right, that's a huge blockage right there. And so it is such a top-down effort right now to try to address this. You know, a lot of this was here before the pandemic. It just got exasperated, you know, over those last couple of years. And so, yeah, it's all hands on deck.
Yeah, you feel for the, you know, medical community right now, because there's just a backlog of everything and a shortage of everything, it seems like.
And more people who need that help, right? Because we had so many people who did not get their health care during the pandemic, right? So all of those appointments are adding up. You have people who are living longer at this point too. And so just a lot of demands on them.
Well, let's hope this program works.
Yeah.
Anusha, thank you.